The first layer of the value grids, brush and palette knife, are complete. The brush is on our left and the palette knife is on our right. I wanted to take some time and talk to you guys about some concepts we'll be talking about in here in class. And let's start with some of the basic ones first. So let's talk about creating a composition that generates eye movement. So if we look at the brush first, we can see that there's these dark values in here, and they create this diagonal line up in here, which staggers over to here and across. So we actually have this movement up in here through here. If we go here up and then across back to the right and then up in here. That's kind of reiterated with the whites or the lighter values in here, here, up in here, through here. And that guy sitting down in there. There's some nice eye movement in this guy, if I may say so myself. Anyway, so that's the first layer. Over here in the palette knife one, we have some decent eye movement in here, mostly from this area here up and up into here. So it's kind of like a V kind of thing going on with this guy over in here. It also happens in the darks as we go up in here, across, down, over, up in here, or start in the top left-hand corner and we come down to, or walk across to, and then start down in here and walk through. So I feel like as they are right now, they're in pretty good shape. However, I don't feel totally resolved with them. And mainly because of things like this. Visual crispness and clarity. I don't know if the values are as rich as they could be. In fact, I'm going to say they are not as rich as they could be, so that they really have take on some visual weight and importance. I don't know if the marks are doing how I'm building a little bit of a texture through here. I don't know how if they're really doing anything now. So those two things, what I just said there, visual crispness and clarity, visual weight, and the marks having a sense of purpose are really important. And whether you're painting abstractly or representationally, the marks want to have a sense of purpose. Representationally, if they're describing a vase, then the marks want to talk about how that vase has volume maybe, or how the shading goes from a shadow into a highlight back into a semi-shadow across from side to side and across the front of that vase. The brushes, the same thing. I think about the same things here. Composition, eye movement, generating visual weight and importance in some of these guys, even in the lighter ones. And then I think the third thing I want to talk about right now is surface undulation. How certain areas, certain values recede in space and certain values come forward. If we look right up in here, in these 6 squares right up in here, that middle light value one feels like it's kind of getting pushed back, and it's mainly because darker values come forward, right? And then so that's going to throw that back. That guy, so we look at here, this guy sits on a different visual plane farther away from us than this guy, which starts to come forward, and then this guy, which comes forward. That guy's the darkest, it seems, up in here, so that guy's going to come closest to us. So if you're struggling with this a little bit, go outside and look, if you can, look across the great expanse of open space. And I take my class out and I'll show them this. We'll look at the Cousin Island power plant. Now there's sides of that thing that are really dark, but because the color has to go through the atmosphere and the atmosphere has moisture in it, those colors get diffused and they become lighter, and therefore they drop back in space. So the rule of thumb, though it can get broken, is that lighter values drop back and darker values come forward. And that's how we create surface undulation. Up in here we can see these guys are sitting on different visual planes. This guy right in here is probably the closest. I would say it's the closest to us. And then as we go back a little farther away, maybe even a little farther away, back to being closer, and then farther away, farthest away in there. All right? So that's about what I wanted to talk about in this video. The next video I have is me starting the name designs, and that video is actually entitled Name Design 01. All right, have a good one, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.